We have 122 members. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so how many of you are here this morning? Say hello.
Okay, we are here.
Okay, I don't see anybody.
They're hiding.
I don't see anybody awake. Good morning. One is awake.
One is more than enough.
Another one, another one. Morning.
Maybe it's a traffic jam around my love.
Here we go from Limassol. So now. Morning. How are you feeling this morning? They are coming.
They ring on the door?
So how are you feeling this morning? How was your task yesterday? You had the task with Tavriana to write all of your wins of the day, all of the things you're grateful for.
Before to go to bed?
Before going to bed, you had the pads that she sent after. You forgot those who follow here live. Okay. Nobody did the homework. I don't see anything.
I did the homework. I did my gratitude in the morning and I did my gratitude in the evening, the way Stavriana said. And I was careful, number 7. Then I continue again and I went to bed. And I feel good. I feel good.
So tell us how you're feeling and tell us if you've done this.
If you didn't do it, it's okay. It's for you.
Yes, it's not about judgment. It's about, awareness. Did you do it? Did you not do it? How was it? Bravo, Krasimir. Someone say bravo.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm good boy. I know. Since the corona started, I'm very good boy. Okay, I had some kind of sabotage before. So what we're going to talk today, my love?
Yeah, we wanted to talk about about accountability. You probably noticed that every time we send a task, we were tagging you, all of you. And slowly, what we decide is that we're going to stop slowly to tag you, just to kind of increase your self-accountability. You to, know, okay, 10 o'clock, this is the time that they will, post the daily task. I have this to do, so not for us all the time to remind you, because, it's like you have to take these habits, to do it for yourself. Everything is for yourself. All the power, all the choice lies in your hands, and all the results also. So we wanted to talk also about accountability partners. You want to say something?
Why we do this not telling you anymore? Because this program will finish one day or another. And you're going to stay with yourself. So it's not going to have someone to remind you for these things. We are still here, but we want to offer you something much more better, which is going to work for us also. Sorry. And we have this in Inside seminars. We have accountability partner.
Yeah, we call them buddy. And it is very helpful, So last Saturday on the mastermind, we assigned to the people that were there, we assigned them a buddy, an accountable partner. If you know someone from the program and you find it easier to contact with them, then you can just tell them, okay, I like to be your buddy. Is it okay for you? If you don't know, we can also assign you someone. And this is very helpful. It's like you will contact them. Okay, how are you doing with your daily task? You need any help? Or maybe you will, just send each other your tracker, to show that you've done it, And it's something that's happened when you do this. The other person will feel, oh, I didn't do it, I need to do it now, It's pushing you forward each other and it's supporting you each other also. And really the results depend on how accountable you're gonna be, and this is for in your life also. It's not only now. Sorry, my daughter is coming. So someone say, I did the exercise with the gratitude task. I had a bit difficulty with the meditation part. Okay. What is it? The problem is for you to meditate in general, or is it you didn't know what to do, or so you can ask question, and also Stavriana can give you maybe some guidance. If you need anything. And today we will be talking with George. So George was there also last week. Let me bring George. So you probably remember George. So last week he was here, and he's the author of The Gradients of Love. Hi, George.
Hi.
And today his topic is the love virus, and how we can use actually this time now of quarantine to our advantage and deepen our relationship with ourselves and also with our partner. Let me bring my partner back in there. So hi George, how are you?
Hi, Clementine. Hi, Krasimir. I'm great. Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having a great week. So let me start by saying that with the virus nowadays, like many of us, all the singles in the world, are in a world of panic. They're like, oh my God, I'm never going to find the love of my life. How can I find love if I'm stuck at home and in lockdown and I can't do anything about it? It's really a word of panic. And on the other side, you have all those couples who are in another completely different world where they're like panicking and saying like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill him or her. I can't stand them anymore. 24/7, it's too much. So here we have the battle of loneliness versus suffocation that has officially begun. May the best one win. You see, I think that this virus, the coronavirus, is actually a blessing in disguise. And this is why I actually called it the love virus. We'll see more about it in a bit. So let us talk a little bit about isolation and suffocation and divide them into two groups. Those of us who are isolated are mainly the single people, and those of us who are in a relationship but not living together. So for all of us who are single, anyone in the house who's single, you can type it in the chat box. And I would say that you are the luckiest of all the singles that have ever roamed across the earth. You're going to ask me why? Well, it's simple. Since the beginning of time, since prehistorical times, we always had to dress up, go someplace, a restaurant, a bar, a nightclub, another country, wherever. Today, with the lockdown, you have the opportunity of a lifetime because all the beautiful women, all the handsome men are all in one single place. They are all online. They are just one click away. Can you imagine what a gold mine this is for you? And another point, there are many points, of course. So another point that I think is actually interesting is that it's a beautiful time to actually work on healing our wounds. If we don't do it now, then when will we? We have a lot of time on our plate. Instead of spending time watching Netflix or nagging and complaining and all those stuff, we can take a hold of this time and really work on that. For those of us who are actually in a relationship but are not living together, you might say, oh, but I want the physical intimacy, the sex, all this. It's beautiful. And it's going to come once the corona ends and everything. But at the same time, you have really a golden opportunity to work on your intellectual and emotional chemistries. To give you an example, you can start a course together. So you can start a course and discuss together with each other, develop new habits together, implement them, work on them, and there are countless of things you can do. If, for example, you're someone who is more of an outdoor or of not outdoor, but like someone more of an extrovert or more someone into sports, you have Zoom. You can Zoom it with your partner, for example, and it's a beautiful thing to experiment and have fun. For those of us who are actually suffocating, so that here we also have two groups. We have those of us who are actually in a relationship and are like living together, and those of us who are in a relationship with kids. So those of us who are in a relationship with our partner, you remember that project, quote unquote, that you've had for years, like, oh, we've always wanted to start this project together, but the time wasn't right. There's this it's not the right time, it's not the right place, it's not the fill in the blanks. Well, now is the opportunity. You see, research have proven that happy couples do develop a project together. And a project, some of them, I'm not going to call the babies or children a project. This because for me, some might call them a project. I think it's much bigger than that. And even if you consider children a project, let's say, they have a time limit in the sense that after 18, 20, 16, 25 years, they will be leaving. The type of project I'm talking about is actually the project that you build together with your partner for a lifetime. For example, you have this project of, I don't know, create a foundation to help your neighborhood. You can start right now. Start slowly, and build it up over time and never stop. This actually will help create a stronger bond between you and will really help you a lot. For those of us who actually are in a relationship and have kids, it's the most beautiful time for you. You can actually develop a very strong bond with your kids. Can you imagine that? I mean, your kids are your kids. You love them. They're like your partner. They came from you and through you. And it's really a great opportunity to really develop, and don't see them as like, oh, they're small and they won't understand. They do understand. By talking to them the right way, they will understand, and you can make them your companion, your friends, and your relationship with them will even grow better and fonder, and you will be even happier for later on. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to say that it's okay to feel bad. I know that some of us have financial difficulties because of work, or because we're not working anymore, or because of the global situation, or like maybe because the kids are now at home, so the kids work, the chores, all those stuff that are roaming around. So it's okay to feel bad. It's okay to give yourself a break. It's okay to take it slow. What's very important as well, it's not the time to actually start with criticism, blaming, and all those negative things that we as humans tend to do. Let us be easy with ourselves, with our partners, because let's face it, just like we're anxious, we're stressed, we're overstressed, so is our partner. We're both trying to do the best that we can. So it is a time of uncertainty. Let's face it, it's obvious, because we don't know when the virus will end, if it will end, but we don't know when it will end, what are the repercussions, etc. I'm not trying to be melodramatic, I'm just trying to say the fact. It's a fact. So what we can do in uncertain time is try to be more certain, to develop more certainty. And one way to do that is by being more appreciative. Being more appreciative of ourselves, of our partner, of our close relatives, of the people we're around. It will help us, it will help them, and it's a beautiful way around. I read a couple of days ago about the rise of or increase of divorces and level of domestic violence. And the reason is being said that it's because people are not used to be living 24/7 every single day. Honestly, this is, in my opinion, is poor. Yes, you heard it. It's poor BS. Because in my opinion, if this is happening, it simply means that the foundations of the relationship are very shaky. So it's really only about the main problem is that the base of this relationship is mainly on physical chemistry, or masculine, feminine, or the sparks, and only that. So we started this relationship, and there were lots of sparks. We loved each other. It was all great and all. let me ask you some questions for you to reflect on. What common ground you have with your partner? See, there's a difference between friends with benefits, between companion, between partners. In my opinion, being in a relationship with your partner is very important, and living 24/7 with them is a blessing, not a curse. You will tell me, but we get bored. No. If they are really your partner and not your friend with benefit, or your roommate, then you have everything. You share everything with them. You build everything with them. You have lots of things to work and grow together. So there are always endless of opportunities. And it's a beautiful thing to look at. Because when we, and I'm not trying to be harsh, but sometimes it's just that we tend to go into the relationships for the wrong reasons, and it's okay. It's okay. We can learn from that. We can grow together and or apart, depending on how deep it is. So, do you remember last week when we talked about healing our wounds? I would like to ask you if any of you, or like all of you, did your home passions or your homework last week. If you did, then could you please write them down under in the chat box, and we'll get back to you once the call is done. The reason why I'm asking is because now is actually your chance. You see, with the coronavirus, with the lockdown, our wounds will surface. Our wounds will be triggered by our partners, by our close relatives and people we're living next to. And they will show us what we need to work on. So this is the time. Now is really actually the time for us to do that. And now we can't escape it. For years, we've been able to escape it by going, yeah, I have work, I have to see my friend. No. Now it's just you and me. Let's face our problems. Let's face, quote unquote, I'm sorry if there's children, but our shit together. And it's either we're going to make it or bye-bye. So I have some ways for you to actually love your partner more. I found them. There are a lot of ways. I'm just going to discuss a couple of them, and we can go on. So now, in this time of uncertainty, it's very important to look for more importantly, to look for the good in people. Look in the good in them and look in the good in what they do instead of the bad. Offer a couple of days ago, I think it was on Tuesday, he actually mentioned about complaining and how complaining was bad and how it's not a good thing to do. And I totally agree with that, and it's beautiful, and it's exactly that. But we're here in lockdown. We can either complain about it, or we can look at the beautiful side and enhance it. And by enhancing it, it's even better because it puts us in a good mood, and it's a spiral that goes upward. So we can choose an upward spiral or a downward spiral. It's all up to us. Another idea that we can do is create a bucket list. So a bucket list, for those of you who are not familiar, is like a list of things we want to do as partners. So for example, let's say my partner and I want to travel around the world. We want to go to this country, that country. We want to start an archery class together. We want to start learning Italian, French, Japanese, any type of activities or things we want to have as endeavors together. We put them on a list, and we start setting like, okay, this year we want to do this, and that. Next year we want to do this, and that, and so on. There's a beautiful thing that we can do, which is we can actually write an old-fashioned love letter to our partner, if we're living with them, and hide it somewhere in the house for them to find it. It can be fun, and they don't need to find it right away, but it would be a beautiful surprise for them. Most importantly, it's important to learn to have fun, to appreciate, and talking about appreciation, I have a fun fact here. You know that when you give someone an appreciation, your brain doesn't differentiate whether it's for you or for someone else, you do feel better when you give someone else an appreciation. So do it for you and for them. Do it for them and do it for you. It goes both ways. Isn't it beautiful? For those of you who have kids and would like to have some maybe activities, or you can do it either with your partner or with your partner and your kids or your family. It's a really cool exercise I found some time ago. Before going to bed at night, if you could all like sit maybe in a circle and do a breathing exercise. The Heart Math Institute, for those of you who've heard about the Heart Math Institute, who work on heart coherence, and they're really, really pioneers in that field, have showed in their research that when two people or more are able to breathe together and they synchronize their breath, what happens is they synchronize their heart. So this is a beautiful thing, because by synchronizing your breath and your heart, you're synchronizing your vibrations at the same time. And imagine if you're doing this with the breathing, you're looking at each other with more empathy, with more care. Guess what happens? You feel more connected. How amazing is that? Okay. Let's face it. We all tend to fight, whether we're the most amazing couple or the worst couple in the world. Something that is important to note is that fights, contrary to popular belief, actually helps create greater intimacy. Yes, you heard it. Fights help create greater intimacy. It's all about how you fight. There's a right way and a wrong way. So usually what happens when we are actually fighting is we tend to be polarized. So one of us tends to be more masculine, the other more feminine, and it's this charge of energy that actually creates the friction. And because we are at different poles, we tend to like have this intense friction, and we don't see each other in each other's eyes. We're just like in opposites, like it's me versus you. And so we tend to blame. We tend to, you, it's your fault, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work this way. See, let me ask you, why don't you try the next time you're fighting? It's going to happen. Let's be honest and real. Instead of saying, you did this, you did that, you can say, I feel this way because this is what this happened. I feel like this. So it's about, first of all, taking accountability of your own feelings, your own actions, not blaming your partner. This is a great way. Of course, there are a lot of ways. There's a lot of tactics. Those are just small nuggets, for you to start actually developing on that. So if you're on the quote unquote attacking end, if you're more on the receiving end, so if your partner is kind of talking to you, what you can do is just listen. I know it's not easy, but it needs practice. So one thing that can do, instead of reacting, you can actually rephrase what they've said. So re-say what they said in a way to like confirm, like, is this what you mean? And then to follow up, like, is this what you mean, or something. So what this does, it actually shows interest. Instead of like feeling like, okay, no, I don't want to hear you, I don't want to listen. It's like, you know what? Let's talk about it like mature people. Let's not let our reactive nature take control of us, or like Barbara was saying, our reptilian flight or fight response. Let's be better than that. Let's control our reactions. So those two steps actually help decrease the polarity, they help decrease the conflict, and they help increase the connection. Why do they help decrease the polarity? Simply because by saying, I feel this way, you're putting yourself at another level. You're not accusing the other person, you're sharing how you are feeling. So you're more of a, instead of facing each other, you're standing next to each other and helping each other. You're conversing rather than attacking. And if really, like they say, sorry for the word, but hits shit to fan, so things are really blowing up, what you can do is have a break. Have a break or an appointment for the fight. So what happens is that Dr. John Gottman, who's very famous in relationship field, talks about creating triggers that, for example, let's say you know that you're arriving at a very strict, like very strong point. What you can do is have a small trigger that tells your partner that, okay, I'm really going to explode, or it's too much for me for right now. Let's take a break. Let's calm down, both of us, each one in our own, for an hour, for an hour or two. It's important to actually resolve this within 24 hours, ideally, because if that goes more than 24 hours, resentment starts to build. So we don't want this to happen, because resentment is one of the most important things that leads to divorce, and it's not a good thing. But what we can do is take a break, do whatever we want to do, then come back, and once we're more calm, we can actually start to really communicate from a more mature level. My personal favorite, I'm actually still practicing, to be honest, but it's actually exaggeration. You see, when you exaggerate something, you are actually making it ridicule. For those of you who are familiar with Harry Potter, it's like the poltergeist, or it's like when the professor actually showed the poltergeist and it changes in different forms, like Professor Snape, who turned into the grandmother of the professor with the clothes of the grandmother. It's actually to ridiculize the situation. And this helps because, let's face it, we cannot fight and laugh at the same time. Just like I think Sabriana was saying yesterday, you cannot have two opposite emotions together. So by not having two opposite emotions, you cannot like be in an angry place and at the same time cracking a joke. So by actually exaggerating it, you're like really breaking this cycle. And it's a beautiful way. I really encourage you to do that. And actually, Barbara will enjoy this example of exaggeration, because exaggeration, I found, leads to positive and increased neurochemistry, which actually triggers endorphins and dopamine for both partners, you and them and you. And most importantly, right now, we're living in a time where we're in lockdown. We don't have much of a safe space, quote unquote. Maybe some of us are in small apartments, some of us a bit bigger, but still we're walking over each other and all that. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Boundaries are very, very, very important, you see. It's important in those times to actually ask before you actually interrupt another person. You might say, yeah, but they're doing nothing. No, that's what you think. They might be thinking about something. Maybe they're thinking about how they're going to make their $1 million. It's their own choice. It's like you are watching. Imagine it this way. It's something I learned from Harville and Helen Hendricks. It's like you're watching a movie, and your partner comes and interrupts your movie and puts their own movie in your own screen. Can you imagine that? I mean, isn't it like terrible? So just ask before, like, honey, do you mind if I interrupt you? Can we speak now? Is it a good time now? This would help a lot. It will decrease polarization. It would come from a place of equals rather than, okay, you know what? I know. Why aren't you doing the dishes now? Why aren't you doing that? Oh, honey, can you help me with that? Ask them first. It's all about asking. Can I interrupt you now? Is it now a good time? If they can say yes or no. If they say yes, then amazing. If they say no, then when is it a good time for you? When can I come back or stuff? It's important for the sanity, for us to decrease our stress to actually do that. Okay, so one last thing I'm going to be discussing is about homeschooling. A lot of us who have kids tend to actually nag that, oh, how we have work, we have school, we have to take care of the kids. I would like you to ponder on this idea. We're living in a time of pandemic. So take a break, take a chill pill, relax. Your kids do not need to be Einsteins tomorrow morning. Your kids do not need to go to NASA tomorrow or after tomorrow. Yes, it's important to be productive, but you don't need to be in productive mode overdrive. It's important to accept the situation as is. So you see, research has proven that acceptance is important for our well-being. And again, Offer was saying that it's important to accept the new reality. We are here right now, so we can either accept it or we can complain about it. Accept it. You will see how the stress level will decrease and you will automatically feel better. It's also an opportunity for you to develop a new type of mindset. Instead of, for example, saying, oh, I'm working from home, oh, I have a new office and I'm loving it. See, with my new office, I can actually work in my PJs, or I can work while whatever you want to do or you do. It's all about reframing how we are and having different structures. Yes, it's important for you to follow up with your kids to actually make sure, quote unquote, they are attending online classes, doing their homework, but it doesn't have to be army style. It can be more relaxed. It's not about bossing them around. Make them your friends. They do understand. They really do understand, and by creating a bond and having fun with them and playing with them and making it like more of a fun thing to do, automatically the stress level in the house will decrease. They will be more open to actually help you. You can create activities like, I don't know, play maybe Uno games or Monopoly or anything that can be educational, and yes, at the same time you're having fun, increasing your level of connection with your children. Don't see them as your opposites, because you might say, yes, but I have work, I have chores to do. Ask them to help you. Tell them, to your children, you can tell them like, I really appreciate if you'd help me, not George, do this, or George, do that. Like, George, I'm feeling I really need your help. I would really appreciate if you could ask from a place of genuine care, not order or boss around. When you boss around, they're gonna really react. But if you're asking for their help, you're being human, you're showing your emotions, your feelings. So automatically they will actually, they might resist, of course, the first time, maybe the second time, because they're not used. Like, okay, something is wrong. Is mommy okay? Is daddy okay? What's happening? Then you can talk to them. Look, we're now in a place of, I'm a bit stressed. It would help me a lot if you do this. They would understand. And if you do it once, twice, three times, it depends on you and your dynamic with them. The more you do it, then the easier it will become. They will help you. They are humans after all. So, Clementine, do we still have time, or are we short on time?
We will have to end.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yes.
So I will not.
We will have to
Yes.
end to close the
Okay,
meeting.
no problem.
Let me bring. We will have to
Okay,
close
so
the
just
meeting.
one word before.
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that we will be sending you later on home passion for you, or homework to do. But before that, I wanted to say that if you didn't get anything from what I've said so far or anything, it's important to note that healthy relationships build or boost your immune system. So if you want to stay safe in times of Corona, have healthy relationships. And it's a challenge for each of us now to actually go out of our way, to change our ways. And challenges are always there to help us grow. So I'm pretty sure all of us are into personal development, more or less here. So we love growth and we love to grow. So let me leave you with one last question. How is the challenge in our relationship making us grow? And thank you.
Thank you, George. So there is few questions, George, but George will answer after by message, because now we have to close the meeting because some people maybe have to go to work or other activities. So we're just gonna finish now, like usual, with our 3 breathing, and then after we go to gratitude. So you can, like Stavriana was showing yesterday, you can place your hands on your heart and you can start breathing in, hold, and breathing out. I am so thankful and grateful for my children, for their health, for their beauty, for their smile. I'm so thankful and grateful for my husband, for his support, for his kindness, for his caring. I'm so thankful and grateful for myself, having the courage to being disciplined and wake up in the morning and do my meditation. I'm so thankful and grateful for the electricity, the water, so I can cook, I can take shower whenever I want, I can bath my children. I'm so thankful and grateful for this place, for this lightful and spacious home where my children can run, I can enjoy the lights, I can be comfortable. I'm so thankful and grateful for this morning community and all the coaches that come in volunteer, because I can grow and I can be in service and I can contribute. I am so thankful and grateful because of this morning community. Again, I can stay focused and on track on my goals, on what I want in my life. And I am so thankful and grateful for living in this beautiful island, for the sun, for the birds, for the sea, that remind me that of the beauty, remind me of the abundance, the immensity. And I'm so thankful and grateful for the internet, for all the knowledge around us, and that we can stay connected between each other and we can have access to so many skills and tools and knowledge to help us to grow and stay connected with ourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you for all of you. I wish you a beautiful day. And we'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. You will have your daily task post at 10 o'clock. So what George just explained you, you'll have different parts according if you're single or if you are with kids. So you will see it will be posted at 10 o'clock. We'll not tag you today. So just be careful, be accountable. If you need a partner, just post and we will find your partner. Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.